I would get a shirt. I actually wrote Chipotle and asked them to open up a Chipotle in Hood River. You know, I have a friend up here from Long Beach. We're having a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun up here, doing our thing. The best thing about having friends come, though, from out of town up here to the Pacific Northwest, little hamlet of Hood River, is the comfort food. It's always a nice treat, a nice little diversion. Let's get started with the episode. So today, we are going to talk about Succubi and Incubi. Now, the difference is a lot of people use the terms interchangeably, and they're actually completely different things. A succubi is a female demon who has sex with you and sucks the energy out of your body. An incubi is a male demon who has sex with you and sucks the energy out of your body. Now, that alone should be the risk-reward calculation for you. Like, yes, I'm having sex with an otherworldly entity who can be as hot as it wants to be, but they're draining my body of energy. That's always been the trade-off. Now, of course, there are subcultures on the internet who don't believe, well, first off, they believe that succubi and incubi are real, and those are old legends. The idea that these creatures come and suck your soul, and among other things, at night, they prey on you. Those are old legends. This is nothing new, but the new internet community believes that you can date, you can date them. You can go out with them, and you can have relationships with them, and there's all sorts of tips on how to summon them, and have them be a part of your life. Now, I get it. Sometimes dating real people can be a bit of a pain. You have to actually go out and meet people and then convince them that you're worth being, at the very least having sex with. If not, you have to prove a little more worth to be in a relationship with them. So if you're feeling lonely or particularly randy that night, or you just want to try something new, I can see the allure of wanting to bang a demon woman. It's probably not a smart deal. There's quite a few websites though dealing with this. One of them, the most basic thing you do is you have to write a letter of intent to Lilith. Now Lilith, that's old Jewish mythology. So basically God created Adam, and then he created Lilith, and she was a total bitch. I mean, she just wouldn't follow any of the rules, and she was just a total pain in both God and Adam's side. Get it? Because of the rib. Get it? Anyways. And so she got banished and basically erased from religious history, and then God created Eve. Now, because of all that, she's the queen of the succubi. I also think she's the queen of miscarriages. Like, she's the cause of miscarriages. If you miscarry or maybe even abort a child, it belongs to Lilith. Whatever. But apparently, out of that horrible side quest of her taking, unborn children, she also is the queen of the succubi. And so what you have to do is you have to write her a letter. Here's the ritual. You're going to write Lilith, this demon woman who existed 10,000 years before the rest of humanity. You have to write her a letter, apparently. You can't send her an email. Lilith@gardenofeden.com. Okay, I'll stop telling those bad jokes. So you're going to write a letter to Lilith. And this is what you're going to put in here. First off, you have to know what you want. So if you just want like a quick fling, you have to go into it thinking, I want a hot randy succubi to come to my house tonight, and we're going to do all sorts of crazy things. And she's a ghost, so nothing will stay inside of her, and my sheets are going to get all sticky. Or I want to have a girlfriend who is from another dimension, has wings, and can set my enemies on fire. You have to know what you're getting into. It says the optimal time to do this ritual is at 3 a.m., so already she's kind of setting the time limits. Don't change me, Lilith. I'm my own man. I'll do it when I want. You write this letter and you're going to write, watch, I'm going to read this out loud, and a bunch of succubi are going to beat me up tonight. Okay, so you write this letter out and you're going to write. I wonder if you write it out with intent, you get a succubi. But does Lilith listen to podcasts? If I read these instructions out loud with intent, will I get a handy from a demon woman tonight? Please be hot. I will say that at least the artwork for the Succubus forums and stuff, they're pretty hot. These chicks are pretty hot. But, they don't exist in this form. I can't. If it looked like this, then everyone would be banging these things. Anyways, okay, so I'm going to write this letter out. Let's see, what personality should my succubi lady have? she should be randy, but not like too grabby. I hate it when she should know what she's doing. That's the first thing. And a one night stand. I don't want anything long term with the demon lady. So you're going to write in this letter, Lilith, please receive this offering. I give this truthfully and willingly. What offering? There's nothing listed there. Maybe I didn't skip steps, but there's definitely... Yeah, there's nothing there. You just write to Lilith on the top of it, and then you say, oh, I should specify this, one of her daughters. One of her daughters, not one of her sons. Let's specify that. Okay. Lilith, please receive this offering. I give this truthfully and willingly. There's no offering in here, so it doesn't matter. You light a candle, and then you set the paper on fire, which I'm not going to burn my laptop. And then it says, may the light of this candle burn brightly and guide your daughter/son to me. Again, I think you should specify. This is a problem with spells, is that one, you're supposed to be ultra specific, but in the sentence itself, you write daughter/son. So do I write or say daughter/son? This doesn't make sense. You're going to cause a hot male demon to break into my house tonight. You let the candle burn for 30 minutes, you relax and clear your mind for a while. Next step, this is going to shock you guys. The next step, you just imagine, you just pretend that a demon woman is in your house and you masturbate. Queen of the demons cannot move objects in your house. She cannot flick your lights on and off. She cannot turn your television on to the Spice Channel, for a little bit of background entertainment, in case you can't get it up. She can't do any of that stuff. She only appears in your head. So basically what you've told me to do is to write a letter and then imagine, i.e. masturbate, that I'm having sex with a demon. And I know what you're thinking, Jason, you just picked the wrong website. Well, I found another website. This one, you know to trust because it has a black background. And what spooky website doesn't have a black background? This one, you cut out the middleman. You don't talk to Lilith. Why? Well, you don't go to the middle manager. You're going to go to the top. This one, you talk to Father Satan. So apparently that's his title now. And once again, you have to be very specific of what type of girl you want. This one specifies that some demons are monogamous. Okay. I thought monogamy was a social construct, but anyways. So you should find a demon that is compatible with you, and that's kind of hard. There's not really a Tinder for these type of things. And this one also tells you to imagine that they are there and to masturbate, and you'll feel it in your head and other parts of your body. This one's funny because it says, demon friends and lovers are wonderful for those who are in prison, isolated, or incarcerated in any way. Sure, good enough, but there's a bit of a problem here. If I'm in prison or isolated or incarcerated, probably don't have access to the internet, dude. So how am I going to read this? Anyways, this one, you also basically perform a ritual to Father Satan, stating your needs and what you want, and then a demon may or may not show up. Spoiler alert, they won't. And you just begin fantasizing about having intercourse with the demon. This one actually uses the word fantasize multiple times, so all you're doing is praying to these creatures, this Lord and Lady of Hell, and then imagining that it actually happens, and somehow that's proof that it actually happens. Succubi and Incubi. Now, what's funny is there's actually been a lot of reports of people being raped by demons. So you have the ghost sex side of it, which is like the consensual stuff. And then you have ghost rape, where it is not, well, I guess you know the definition of rape. It's not consensual. I was looking at these articles. One of them said that in his findings, 15% of all people on the planet report themselves being raped by a demon. Now, that's actually fairly common, but there's another word for it. It's called sleep paralysis. It's also a lot of times connected to alien abductions. You can't move your body. You feel pinned down, and you're very helpless. And some people see that as a sign that the Greys are coming to abduct them. Some people are seeing it as some sort of paranormal force holding them down and ravishing you. And then science sees it as basically as you're falling asleep or you're in that waking state, your body's not aware that you're not dreaming anymore. And it does two things. You physically can't move because it thinks you're sleeping, and you begin to hallucinate because you're waking dreaming. To put this theory to a test, it's something you can do yourself. When you go to sleep tonight, it's very interesting. I do it all the time. close your eyes, and you can trick your body into thinking you're asleep. And what you do is you close your eyes and you lay there, and you're perfectly motionless. And what will happen is some part of your body will begin to itch, and you'll itch it. And that's your body testing to see whether or not you're asleep or not. Because if you're asleep and your leg itches, you won't itch it because you're asleep. Your consciousness doesn't perceive it. And then if you don't scratch it, that's one of the first steps to start lucid dreaming, because your brain goes, okay, he's asleep. Now I can start the process of, unloading all of this information, and I can start dreaming. So what sleep paralysis, it's the other side of that. Your mind is awake, but your brain still thinks it's asleep. And the reason why it has a self-defense mechanism, so you're not dreaming about being chased down the street by a bunch of bug chasers or something, and you're not running around your apartment. You're perfectly motionless. You may roll side to side, but in your dream, you're like sprinting for miles. My body is keeping me motionless there, but it has to test itself, and it has to stick these limits on you. That's what sleep paralysis is. You're coming out of the sleep, but your body is still frozen. Now, I don't deny that there's paranormal activity. I don't even really deny the existence of demons. But I think if it was so easy that I could simply write a letter to Lilith or Satan and get a reply technically stuff should be flying around my apartment. We're talking about two of these insanely dark evil forces, and the worst they can do, or the most they can do with all of their power, is put a picture in my head of a busty. I can imagine that right now. I am imagining that right now. I don't need to do any sort of ritual to imagine stuff. It's ridiculous. People spend so much time on this, though. Now, it may happen. People may get raped by ghosts or demons. I don't know. But again, I don't think it's as simple as writing a letter or anything like that. If it happens, it happens. So after this, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go get some coffee. If you're interested, you could always join me for some coffee as well. That was a clip from our daily podcast, Dead Rabbit Radio. Dead Rabbit Radio is available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. It's daily paranormal, conspiracy, and true crime news. If you want to hear the full episode that this clip came from, check the link below. Please like and subscribe. And hit that little bell, too. That does some magical stuff. Thanks, guys.